The wind of Lake Michigan carried a sharp edge that night, the kind that slipped through coats and into bones. Downtown Chicago shimmered in winter lights, storefronts glowing gold against the early darkness. People hurried past each other with collars raised and destinations in mind. Inside a small coffee shop on Punchman Street, warmth wrapped around anyone who stepped through the door. The smell of roasted beans and cinnamon softened the city's noise. Indie music hummed quietly in the background. Emily Carter sat near the window, her hands curled around a ceramic mug for comfort more than warmth. She had arrived 20 minutes early. That was her habit. Be early, be prepared, be grateful, even when she had nowhere permanent to go afterward. Her eyes wandered to the door every time it opened. She wondered if she looked out of place. Around her, women in tailored coats laughed over laptops. Men in expensive watches checked emails between sips of espresso. She felt the weight of comparison pressing against her confidence. She smoothed down her thrift store sweater for the 5th time. 2 weeks ago, she had an apartment, a tiny studio with cracked tiles and a stubborn heater, but it was hers. Then medical bills for her mother's treatment arrived like an avalanche. Savings disappeared. Rent went unpaid. Now, her car held everything she owned, 2 suitcases, a folded blanket, a duffel bag of books. Especially books. Her favorite sat on the passenger seat, Atomic Habits by James Clear. She had underlined half of it. Small habits, tiny improvements, 1% better every day. She clung to that philosophy the way others cling to luck. When her coworker insisted she try a blind date, Emily almost refused. He's different, her friend had said. He's a CEO, but not arrogant. CEO, the word alone made Emily nervous. Men like that didn't date women who lived in their cars. Still, she came, because she had made another promise to herself months ago: don't let fear make decisions for you. The door opened again, and this time the room subtly shifted. Daniel Reed stepped inside. He wasn't loud. He didn't need to be. Confidence followed him like a tailored shadow. His charcoal coat fit perfectly. His shoes were polished despite the slush outside. He carried himself with the quiet assurance of someone used to leading rooms. At 38, Daniel had built Reedline Logistics from a struggling startup into a national powerhouse. Business journals praised his discipline. Podcasts invited him to speak about productivity and leadership. His mornings were precise: सुबह के 5 बजे, wake up. सुबह के सिवा 5 बजे, run. सुबह के 6 बजे, review goals. No wasted motion, no wasted time. Habits built his empire. They also built his walls. He scanned the cafe, searching for a woman who matched the image his assistant had described: bright, hardworking, thoughtful. His eyes found Emily. She stood quickly, almost knocking her chair back. For a split second, Daniel's brain did what it always did: SS. Simple clothes, minimal makeup, no designer bag, nervous posture, not what he expected. But then she smiled, not a rehearsed smile, not one sharpened for social climbing. It was warm, slightly shy, entirely genuine, and something in him paused. Hi, she said softly. Daniel, yes, he replied, offering his hand. Emily, her handshake was firm despite her trembling fingers. They sat. For a moment, neither spoke. The music filled the gap. Daniel studied her in small details. Her sweater was carefully cleaned though worn. Her boots were old but polished. Her hair was neatly tied back, as if she had taken extra care with limited tools. She looked intentional. So, he began, resting his hands lightly on the table. What convinced you to agree to a blind date? Emily laughed nervously. A persuasive coworker. Same here, he admitted. That surprised her. She hadn't expected humility. A barista approached, and Daniel ordered an espresso. Emily declined another drink. She couldn't afford it, but he didn't notice. Or perhaps he didn't pretended not to. When they were alone again, Daniel leaned slightly forward. Tell me something about yourself that most people don't, TC. It wasn't his usual question. Normally he asked about goals, 5-year plans, measurable achievements. Tonight, something nudged him toward curiosity instead of calculation. Emily hesitated. Most people don't, TC, that I'm exhausted. Most people don't, TC, that I sleep in my car. Instead, she chose truth in a different form. I believe habits shape identity, she said carefully. I think who you become depends on what you repeatedly do. Daniel's eyebrow lifted. That's very CEO sounding, he said with a faint smile. She blinked. I didn't mean. No, I like it, he interrupted gently. Explain. Her shoulders relaxed slightly. My mom used to say that discipline is self-respect in action. So even when life gets messy, I try to keep small habits steady. Reading. Volunteering. Writing goals. You volunteer, he asked, at a community center on Saturdays. I help kids with homework. Some of them don't have stable homes. She paused briefly. Structure helps them, and helps you, he asked quietly. She nodded. Yes, when things feel out of control, small routines remind me I still have choices. Daniel felt that sentence settle into him. He had built routines for dominance, for winning markets, outperforming competitors. She built routines for survival and hope. What's your long-term goal? He asked. To start a non-profit, she said, her eyes lighting up for the first time. Financial literacy for families who never learned it. I've seen what happens when people don't understand money. It becomes a cycle. Daniel leaned back, studying her with new interest. You think education breaks the cycle. I think habits break the cycle, she corrected gently. Education just shows you which habits to build. The confidence in her voice surprised him. Outside, snow began to fall again, dusting the sidewalk in white. Daniel realized something uncomfortable. He was enjoying this, not because she impressed him with status, but because she challenged him without trying to. And what do you do for work? He asked. She swallowed. 2 part-time jobs. Retail during the day, catering some evenings. No embellishment, no apology. Ambitious, he observed. Necessary, she replied. Their eyes met. In that brief silence, Daniel sensed depth. Not desperation, not insecurity, strength. His old habit tried to resurface. She's not in your league. This won't align with your lifestyle. But another thought followed. When was the last time someone spoke to you without trying to gain something? Emily wasn't performing. She wasn't flirting strategically. She wasn't impressed by his title. She asked questions about his childhood instead of his net worth. She listened when he described the pressure of leadership. She tilted her head thoughtfully when he admitted he sometimes felt disconnected from the very people his company served. Do you ever slow down? She asked gently. Not often. Maybe that should be a habit, she said with a small smile. He laughed, really laughed, for the first time that week. Around them, the cafe lights dimmed slightly as evening deepened. Couples came and went. Snow layered the windows in delicate frost. Daniel noticed something else. Time had passed quickly. He hadn't checked his watch once. That alone was unusual. As the barista announced closing in 15 minutes, Daniel felt an unfamiliar reluctance. He didn't want the conversation to end. Across the table, Emily felt something too, hope, fragile but real. She had arrived with nothing but honesty. And for the first time in months, she didn't feel invisible. Daniel studied her once more, not her clothes, not her circumstances, but her character. She carried resilience like armor and kindness like light. Without realizing it, he made a quiet decision. Tonight, he would suspend judgment. Tonight, he would practice a new habit. The habit of seeing beyond appearance. The habit of listening without measuring. The habit of valuing substance over status. As snow fell heavier outside the cafe windows, 2 very different lives sat across from each other, one built on structured success, the other built on quiet endurance. The wind howled off Lake Michigan like it had secrets to tell. Snow swirled along the sidewalks, sticking to hats and scarves, turning Chicago's streets into a shifting maze of white and gray. Inside a small coffee shop on Punchman Street, warm light spilled across polished wooden tables, and the scent of roasted coffee beans and cinnamon immediately wrapped around anyone who entered. It was an oasis from the cold. Emily Carter hugged a steaming cup in her hands as if it were a lifeline. She had arrived 20 minutes early, a habit she clung to like a rope thrown across a chasm. Being early gave her time to observe, to prepare, to breathe. But tonight, she felt exposed. She hadn't meant to come here at all. 2 weeks ago, she had an apartment, cramped and drafty, but it was hers. Then came medical bills she couldn't pay, bills for her mother's surgery, bills that swallowed her savings whole. The apartment went, and so did stability. Now, everything she owned, 2 suitcases, a blanket, a few precious books, was folded neatly into the backseat of her car, parked a couple of blocks away. Her eyes flicked nervously to the door every time it opened. Women in expensive coats and men checking watches passed by. They seemed untouchable, safe in a world she no longer felt part of. She brushed her hair back with shaking fingers, adjusted the thrift store sweater she had somehow made look decent, and took a deep breath. You promised yourself. Don't let fear decide for you. The door chimed. Daniel Reed stepped inside. He didn't just enter a room, he arrived. His coat cut sharply, his shoes gleamed despite the slush outside, and a quiet confidence radiated from him like a tangible aura. 38, CEO, known for building a nationwide logistics empire out of nothing, Daniel carried himself as someone accustomed to control. Everything about him was habits, discipline, precision, efficiency. Yet, there was something tonight that disrupted the usual order: anticipation. His eyes scanned the cafe, landing on Emily. She looked ordinary, nervous, simple, not glamorous. His first instinct, ears of honed judgment, whispered, "She's not what I expected." But then she smiled. It wasn't calculated, not seductive, not for effect. It was raw, small, human, and it reached him in a way he hadn't felt in years. "Hi," she said softly. "Daniel." "Yes," he replied, smiling politely. "Emily." Her handshake was firm despite trembling fingers. He noticed everything: the neatness of her boots, the worn but clean sweater, the determination in her posture. She wasn't trying to impress him, she was trying to be herself. They sat, the ambient music wrapping around them like a private bubble. "So," he began, "what convinced you to agree to a blind date?" Emily laughed, nervous and musical. "A persuasive coworker." "Same here," he admitted. That caught her off guard. The powerful CEO, admitting persuasion. Genuine humility flashed through his eyes. Daniel ordered his espresso. She declined another drink, though he caught the hint of hesitation and let it pass without comment. "So," he said when the barista left, leaning forward slightly, "tell me something about yourself most people don't, TC." It wasn't his usual line. Normally, he measured people against ambitions, achievements, and networks. Tonight, something nudged him toward curiosity instead of analysis. Emily hesitated. She could have lied. She could have smiled and told a polished story. But her honesty was another habit she held sacred. "I believe habits shape identity," she said carefully. "I think who you become depends on what you repeatedly do." Daniel raised a brow. "That's CEO sounding." She blinked. "I didn't mean." "No, I like it." "Explain." She took a breath. "My mom used to say, discipline is self-respect in action. So even when life gets messy, I try to keep small habits steady. Reading, volunteering, writing goals." Daniel's interest sharpened. "You volunteer at a community center on Saturdays." "I help kids with homework." "Some don't have stable homes." She paused, eyes distant. "Structure helps them, and it helps me." The simplicity of her words struck him. He had spent decades building routines for dominance, not survival. She built routines for hope. "What's your long-term goal?" he asked. "To start a non-profit," she said, her eyes suddenly alight with quiet fire. "Financial literacy for families who never learned it. I've seen how quickly money, or the lack of it, can define a life. Habits can break the cycle." Daniel leaned back, studying her like a man seeing in full color for the first time after years in grayscale. He didn't need charts or metrics to evaluate her. Her courage, her authenticity, her commitment, these were unmeasurable, yet undeniable. Outside, snowflakes hit the cafe windows, soft and silent, transforming the street into a quiet white haze. Daniel realized something surprising: he was enjoying this. Not because she impressed him professionally, not because she looked a certain way, but because she challenged him without trying. She questioned, she observed, she saw. "Do you ever slow down?" she asked gently. "Not often," he admitted. "Maybe that should be a habit," she suggested, eyes twinkling. He laughed, deep, unguarded, the kind that surprises even the person laughing. And in that small coffee shop, as the snow continued to fall, something shifted. Not because of wealth, charm, or luck, but because one woman, arriving with nothing but courage, met a man who had built everything but had forgotten to look beyond himself. For the first time in a long time, Daniel's habit of judgment faltered. A new habit began to form, the habit of seeing people, not what they have, but who they are. And Emily, sitting quietly, sipping her untouched coffee, realized something too. The world hadn't given her much. But tonight, she was seen. Truly seen. The snow outside intensified, each flake catching the streetlights like a signal of promise. And inside, two very different lives hovered at the cusp of change, each shaped by habits that had defined them, and each ready to discover that sometimes the smallest habit can change everything.